In an interview from last month, Scott Ritter explained how the United States and Ukraine are not going to realistically be able to win this war. And he said this about both Ukraine and the United States because not only does the math in terms of troop capacity, weapon capacity, prove that Russia has superior capabilities and will continue to have superior capabilities compared to Ukraine, but the predictions these U.S. economists made about the Russia sanctions supposedly going to be able to manage to destroy Russia's economy are not panning out. Russia is suffering from this, but it's suffering from it relatively less than the US and Europe are. And that alone means that the strategic objectives of the United States in this conflict are not going to be fulfilled. The US knew from the start that Ukraine wasn't going to be able to militarily defeat Russia. The goal of instigating this conflict was for Washington to destabilize Russia so that China could then be weakened and U.S. capital could be preserved through the weakening of the Belt and Road Initiative. None of these plans are going to come to fruition because, as Ritter assessed, the math is just not working out in the favor of Washington. But there's a deeper series of reasons why this foreign policy failure on Biden's part has occurred. One of these reasons is Bush. 20 years ago, when Bush invaded Afghanistan and then Iraq, he inadvertently ended up discrediting the U.S. in the eyes of the vast majority of the globe. After those two catastrophic conflicts, the majority of the globe came to distrust the United States and view it as a hypocrite. As a consequence, most of the global south, aside from the most U.S.-tied countries like maybe Chile, are not behind Washington on this conflict. The U.S. has to lean onto Europe, its fellow European imperial powers, to fulfill the full scope of the sanctions that the United States needs in order to try to weaken Russia, and that, of course, is not being fulfilled. Europe can't take on this task all on its own. The other big reason why the U.S. is losing this proxy war is because of the nature of Washington as an imperial capital, as of the nature of the United States as an imperial power. Because the U.S. is an empire, its military-industrial complex is profoundly corrupt. And this corruption, as explained by another video I'll link below, video by the New Atlas, this corruption has resulted in a profoundly dysfunctional U.S. military-industrial complex. The primary Russian weapons manufacturers are state-owned. Therefore, they lack this corrupt dynamic that has weakened the United States so much. And consequently, Russia has superior weapons capacities. Russia is, because of these factors, able to wage a war of attrition in which it's demilitarizing not just Ukraine but also NATO. And it's economically defeating not just Ukraine, but the U.S. imperial bloc as a whole. And it's all because of imperial hubris. This combination of Bush sending the U.S. empire into a decades-long death spiral, and then Biden accelerating this by attempting to defeat Russia with or economically defeat Russia with a military force that is handicapped in its ability to do damage.